Today we're going to make what I call the salmon dinner frozen Kong. What you'll need is a mug, some Kongs, appropriate to your dog's age and chew style, some sort of stuffing, and I'm going to be using salmon, but you can also use canned chicken or canned tuna, whatever your dog likes or you're willing to buy them. You'll need a spoon for stuffing, and then you'll need enough mugs, obviously, for as many Kongs as you're going to build. Also, you'll need a container to hold your leftovers for what doesn't fit in the Kong, so you can make more Kongs later. So let's talk about the different types of Kongs. As you can see, there's a variety, and my supply doesn't even demo how many there really are. These three here are puppy Kongs. So these are going to be for puppies who aren't big chewers yet, or maybe even your elderly dogs that don't chew well either or don't have teeth. These are good because they're softer. So for a dog who's a good chewer, this is not indestructible, so this isn't for them. Next, you have the standard Kong, so the traditional Kong. This is a lot harder to squeeze, right? This is for a dog who is not maybe a mega chewer, reasonable chewer. That way they have the appropriate chew quality. And then they offer the black Kong. So this is for your mega chewers. If you're worried about your dog destroying things that they chew, then this is the Kong for them. Comes in a variety of sizes, obviously much bigger for larger dogs. This I use for my 18-pound rat terrier. And then this I use for my anywhere from 10 to 12-pound dog. So it just depends. Maybe you just want a snack, but you want it big enough for the size dog you have. That's very important to think about chew capabilities, as well as the age of the dog and the size of the dog's mouth. You would never want to give your dog who's ginormous a little bitty Kong, because it could be a swallowing hazard. What you can fill a Kong with is almost endless. Leftovers, fruits, veggies, meats, peanut butter, anything that's healthy for a dog and your dog isn't allergic to and that they like and you're willing to buy for them is an option. So today we're going to do salmon, which I already have pre-made here with some green beans. Green beans are good, low-calorie snacks, so we'll mix that into our Kong. And a can of tuna can last quite a while. This will be my third time filling 4 Kongs. Chicken is also good. You can do it canned or fresh. I just like canned because it's simpler. I don't have to cook it. And then tuna's another option for your dogs to enjoy as well. One of my tricks of the trade when stuffing Kongs is having mugs. I use the mugs so that I can easily fill up the Kongs without a huge mess. So this size mug, I would use my medium Kong, and then I can easily stuff it in with a small spoon, depending on what I'm filling that day. With the salmon, it'll be easy, and then I can just pack it in with my fingers if I want a nice full Kong. For my larger Kong, I'm going to need a larger mug. And that way, if I do miss that little hole, I have all this area to catch it, and I just make sure that I wash my mugs after each use, even if the dogs don't touch it. That way, everything's nice and clean. Let's get to stuffing. So if you have items that you want to mix together, I found it's easier for the dogs to get out if you mix them together and they're somewhat small. So large chunks of things, with the exception of the green beans, but large chunks of maybe apple or meat sometimes can get stuck in the ridges. So I like to mix mine all up, so I'll mix this up and then I'll start stuffing the Kongs. Another option, rather than just stirring this up, if I wanted to, I could puree it in a small food processor, which would be even easier for the dogs to work out after it's a little defrosted from the frozen Kong. But for this, I think it's soft enough that I can stuff this Kong and it still be fun for the dogs to get the items out. Obviously you can use 2 hands if you're not holding a recorder. So you're just going to stuff it in, and Curly's trying to help himself to some on the way. You're just going to stuff it until it's full, or till whatever amount you want to give your dog. Think about the calories in your Kong. You want to make sure that their dietary needs are met, and that the Kong is just a supplement if you're going to use something fancy like salmon and green beans or peanut butter, and that the calories that you're adding here you remove from their daily intake of kibble or whatever they're eating for their daily meal. It looks delicious, right? So here is a stuffed Kong ready to be put in the freezer. I recommend no less than 2 hours. So if you're in a hurry, doing it in the morning and then having it ready for your dog in the afternoon is plenty of time for your dog to have a frozen Kong and take a little bit longer to work the ingredients out than if you just stuffed it loosely like it is now. And plus, during the summer months, it's great to have a little something cool to cool off your dog. As you can see in my very busy freezer here, it doesn't take up much space to do a few Kongs. So I have 4 Kongs in here for the afternoon when we get a little finicky, and I'll show you what that's like when we have our afternoon treat. It's been several hours, and now the Kongs are nice and frozen, ready for the dogs to enjoy. The benefits of feeding a Kong throughout the day is really mental stimulation and giving your dog a proper chew item. So this is going to alleviate maybe stress while you're away or while you're busy, and also give them something mentally to engage themselves with rather than maybe doing something inappropriate. So this is one way you can stuff a Kong with salmon and green beans, which I like to call the salmon dinner. Enjoy! Like with any valuable chew, make sure that your dogs are separated or comfortable with each other when they're chewing or enjoying their Kong. This way you don't have to worry about resource guarding or anyone getting into fights. Let them have their quiet time to enjoy their Kong or their chew, and also make sure you're around to supervise to make sure that everything is a-okay.